Welcome back to the Aimmee Kodachian and the Expert Show, where we bring some of the top experts in the world to help you transform your business and personal life. I am your host, Aimmee Kodachian.
Not Kardashian. Yes.
I'm with it.
And I am your co-host, Stephanie Thompson. I'm a classically trained singer-songwriter. In this episode, this is the fourth segment of 4 segments. We've been talking about the Secrets of the Keys movie with Robin J. And she is a twice award winner now with the Gold Awards.
Gold Award.
Yes. And so we have an award winner in our midst here. And she's also one of our faculty member for our academy.
Yes.
So we have a lot to brag about today. But Robin, I was just thinking at the break, I had a question for you. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I do.
Can we say where they can find the movie? At
Please tell them.
4 segments, and I haven't said anything yet.
Oh, please go for it.
Thekeymovies.com. Key is singular.
We wanted to know.
Movies
It's
is
a
plural.
movie.
The
Yes.
Key Movies. You can stream it. You can download it on Vimeo on demand, or if you order the DVD. I have a special offer now where you get my first film for free on DVD. So you get 2 for the price of 1 if you want the actual DVD. A lot of people still aren't comfortable downloading from the internet.
Now, I mean, the good about it that you can download this from anywhere in the world.
Anywhere
and I
in the
know
world, on Vimeo on
I know
demand.
we have viewers from everywhere.
Yes.
And if they
You
go
know.
to the Key Movies,
Yeah.
there's a sneak peek. The first 15 minutes for free. All you have to do is opt in with your name and your email,
Yes.
and you get a link to watch the first 15 minutes for free, so you can see how it goes and how the story is. And Leslie Stein is in the first 15 minutes. She is incredible. She actually lives here in Las Vegas, and she was one of the first women to attend the West Point Military Academy. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
The Military Academy at West Point, I think is
Wow.
how it goes.
Wow.
And she flew Chinook helicopters in
Nice.
Kosovo and South
You
Korea. She
go,
is a
girl, huh?
badass.
Tell her.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you. And she has some
Proud of
tremendous
her.
advice and sets up everything for Elizabeth's journey. Before Elizabeth meets Gwen and Goldie, her spiritual guides.
Yes.
And also, it was so much. There is some fun character.
There's humor.
Goldie.
There's
Humor.
humor.
Goldie.
I love that.
We were going to
Yeah.
call her Trixie, and then I thought, well, we're in Vegas. Maybe that. So we
Go,
called her Goldie.
Goldie,
And,
yeah.
and, this is where you have friends. I have to tell your audience that when a friend of ours locally hosted a screening for my first film, and a woman was there, Elizabeth Matheson, and I got to meet her, and she went home and told her mother, Catherine Brinkley, Mom, you've got to see this movie and you have to meet Robin, and oh my gosh. And we went to lunch with Regina Murphy, who's in my first film.
Yeah,
Regina
Regina,
is
she's
so
one of my
memorable and
faculty
fabulous.
too, yes.
So the 4 of us went to lunch, and in Las Vegas, you start a conversation by saying, where are you from? So I asked Catherine, where are you from? She said, oh, Cleveland. I was like, get out, so am I. Where? And Cleveland is very broken into suburbs. I mean, in Vegas, we have Vegas and Henderson, and that's about it.
That's
So she was from Cleveland Heights, and I'm from Pepper Pike. And like our high schools played football together against each other, and we were like, are you kidding? What year did you graduate? And we both graduated in the same year,
Oh,
2003. No.
Yeah, 2003.
It was a long time ago, and we were off and running. And she said, I'd love to help you with your next movie. And I said, fabulous. And I actually wrote the part of Gwen with Catherine in mind. She had no clue what she was getting into, because it was a lot of days of shooting. It was a lot of work. It's wardrobe. It's schlepping. Everything. We shot in her
putting
house.
a movie together is not an easy thing to do.
We shot in her house. She had to remodel afterwards. You take over someone's home. It's a film set is just crazy. So anyway, and then she just hit it out of the park. We had a scene, I have to tell you this, toward the end of the movie, where my character is asking Gwen, who appears as a mystical spiritual guide, and she's basically making my character Elizabeth a job offer.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth is like, why me? Why is all this happening to me? And we both, I'm getting goosebumps already just remembering this. Something magical happened during that scene. When it's very intimate when you're filming.
You're getting
behind
to
the
behind the
scenes.
scene.
Right.
Well, you're like this close to someone, and you're talking, and it's days that you're talking, and it's like, and when you're done with your dialogue, you wait for the director to say cut. So you're just like looking at each other. It's like, it's more intimate than even getting a manicure. So anyway, we were looking, and we finished this one scene, and Catherine looked at me and went, "What just happened?"
Oh.
What just happened? I was like, wow. Something magical happened. I think you can see it when you watch the movie in that scene when we're talking about
It's just
why
spiritually
something would
connect.
happen to you.
Oh.
When you're living your life, being as good as you can be,
Yeah.
working as hard as you can, and something
Yeah.
bad happens to you. So why?
Yeah.
And it was just such an incredible moment that we had. And I think anyone who watches the movie is going to recognize that scene and
just
get it
get
and
it.
feel it and
Yeah.
understand that, we don't last forever. The one thing we all have in common is
Most important, what you leave behind you.
Yeah.
well,
I mean,
your legacy, your
legacy,
teaching, your
yeah.
books, your movies, your
Yeah.
children, everything that you can leave behind to say, I
Definitely.
was here, I made a difference, I helped the people in my life, I was a good person.
That's
and
important.
so the movie is just so empowering, and I'm so grateful. And then Hera Brown was hilarious in the movie. She
Yeah.
is a $1 million real estate agent in Atlanta, and I've known her for years. She actually feng shuied my house. She's a feng shui master, so we
Nice.
made her a feng shui master in the movie. Sometimes I joke I'm not that good of a writer. My character plays a motivational speaker and author, and
Yeah.
and Gwen's a spiritual
But there's
guide.
a lot
Yeah.
to learn from
Yeah.
the movie. But before we go further, I want to hear your question.
Oh, I'm
Well,
sorry.
I had actually two questions. My
Okay.
first question was, what was the most challenging part of doing the movie, and what was the thing that brought you the greatest joy?
Okay, first one first.
Okay, the
next one
most
would be-
challenging part was finding the right experts for the film, because you conceive this movie, you conceive the story, you write it, you imagine. I have 7 keys, and at one point I was like, I need someone who's really amazing to speak on the key of empathy.
Yeah.
And Jody Aimmee just fell in my lap. I posted online on Facebook at a private
There is
group.
anything you could share with us about the keys of the empathy right now?
Before
we go.
we're too hard on ourselves. We can't, just like leadership, like we talked about before.
Yes.
You need to have empathy for yourself. We're so hard on ourselves. We have this
That's what I say.
self-judgment and
Lead with
self-doubt.
love and compassion. Lead
Yes.
with
We
love
treat
and
ourselves like we
compassion.
wouldn't
It's
treat a
huge.
stranger sometimes.
Yeah.
We're so insecure. And so Jody's story is so profound that she talks about this, that, that we're like leaves falling. We're going to get to the ground in our own time. I hate it when someone says, get over it. Because it's invalidating what we're going through, our
That's right.
emotions. And,
Yeah.
and it's a lack of respect on their part to say to someone else,
So if
you're
you
being
learned
ridiculous,
anything-
you're being silly, get
Yeah.
over it. No, these are my feelings. I'm going to own them.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
so that's where the empowerment comes from. Every segment in the movie has
And when somebody
a lesson
says,
like that.
when somebody says, well, we understand what you're going through, guess what? It disappears.
Yep.
Because you understand
a little
them, or
compassion,
even
a little empathy.
compassion,
Or
and
I don't know what
empathy.
you're going through, but I can imagine it
I
must
can
be
imagine
so hard.
Yeah,
Right.
so
God
if
bless you. You
Right.
know.
Either you do this for yourself, or you other people who's going through a hard time, you walk away
The
with
last
one
thing
thing
we need
today
is more
is that-
self-judgment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You tell the other person, I understand you, I feel you, and even if you don't understand, try to. You don't want to lie to them. But
And the
try
best
to
part-
understand them and feel with them, or try to understand yourself and feel.
Exactly.
Lead yourself and others with love and compassion, and your life will change.
It's the best advice ever. And the
You
part that I
know.
like the most is when someone watches the movie.
Yes.
And they tell me that it, like, they had a transformational moment watching it.
Sure.
It really
Wonderful.
is an inspiring and spiritual experience to watch
Sure.
it. And I've had people tell me
So-
that they absolutely had a transformation watching it.
Nice.
That's
So
nice.
when we come back, we'll ask the second question. She'll answer the second question.
Well, this is the last
This is the
segment.
last
Oh
Yes,
my
and
goodness!
next-
So Scott,
the
Scott,
next-
come on out.
Yes,
We wanna
Scott,
share
come
it.
here. We
Let's-
want to
yeah.
thank
Scott.
Scott.
Thank you.
This is
He's
Scott.
behind the scene and
He's-
keep us
he's
happy
wonderful.
and smiling. And thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you,
I
Scott.
appreciate
Yeah.
you. Woo. Thank you. So we'll see you next week.